Hey, I'm Chris. I'm here with Andy Seitz, producer on Untold Legends-Dark-Kingdom.
Hello, everyone. Good, how are you?
Good. So we're going to take a look at one of the levels put in since the E3 build. But before we do that, can you give us a quick overview of what Dark Kingdom is?
Yeah, Untold Legends-Dark-Kingdom is the third installment of the Untold Legends series. And our goal with this game was to leverage the really fun, exciting core gameplay elements that made the original two games so exciting and combine that with the processing power of the PlayStation 3 and really evolve what action RPGs are capable of in the next generation.
Cool. So let's check out the level.
All right. Well, since E3, we've been doing quite a bit of work. Typically, developers like to take a breather after E3 just because so much work is done up until then. But with us wanting to launch alongside the PlayStation 3 in November of this year, it was time to really crank it up a couple more notches and really hunker down and get the game done. So the first area that we're running through here is actually an area that's called the Slave Encampment, and it's an area that's further along in the game that you won't see for a while. It's an area that is used by the king to house and enslave all of the citizens that he uses to actually draw his power, his raw power from through their pain and suffering. Mm-hmm. And this is a good example of what some of our outdoor areas are going to look like. The area that we'd shown at E3, the Barbarian Lands, is a really heavy forested area. This is an encampment area. There's actually quite a few indoor areas as well. We have a palace, we have sewers, we have golem towers. We have a very wide array of different environments that players are going to be seeing as they play through the game. Now, when you first start up the game, you're going to select from three different characters. The character that we have here is the warrior, and he was the character that we'd shown at E3. The reason why we went with three was because we wanted to really focus on making them very different, very distinctly different, not only in their visuals, but also in the way that they play, their skills, and really make people feel like if they played through with one and then played through with the second character, mm-hmm. It wasn't just that original character with a different texture combination.
Cool. So you want to show us some of the moves that the warrior has specific to his, like some of his powers? I know he has that yell.
Yeah, okay, let me hop over here. So each of the characters has their own abilities, their own spell effects, and the one thing that we really wanted to focus on was adding more depth, adding more variety to the combat system. So we took the basic one-button melee functionality and added a heavy attack and a light attack. Now when you start the game, you're going to have the ability to use that light attack, which is like this, and you can just stab it all day long, and I could keep getting knocked over here. Then you have your heavy attack, and the heavy attack is just that. It takes a little longer to actually to do, but the end result is a much more powerful attack. But as you level up, you're actually going to acquire what we call combo attacks, and those combo attacks are triggered by using three-button combinations between light and heavy, and they're more than just doing more damage or showing off a new effect. They're going to be situation specific. Let's say you're fighting a boss mob where he has a very broad range of attack, and the only way that you can really do damage is by using your combo attack that allows you to run in, do the attack, and then roll away before he has a chance to swing at you. And what we wanted to do with the combat system and the combo system in general was make people, to give people the opportunity to require them to utilize these abilities that they gain along the way and not just acquire it as they level up and never use it again. Mm-hmm. So with regarding technology, the engine that we're using and everything, we started working on the game about this time last year, early June of 2005. Mm-hmm. And we had the option of licensing an engine. We had the option to writing our own engine from scratch. We typically prefer to do all the work on our titles in-house just because it gives us the ability to make game-specific decisions on technology and such. So we decided to write our own engine specifically for this game, specifically for the PS3. And for the majority of last year, we actually spent most of our time building our tools pipeline, building technologies, starting to take advantage of the cell processors and so on. We did actually license one piece of technology, which is actually Havoc, the real-time physics system, just because they have a very proven track record with all the titles that they've been released with. And frankly, we wanted to spend our programming time and development time elsewhere than writing something that's already been done well once before that we could license.
Right. So what's a good example that you can or that you can show us, or at least tell us about, with that you can use with the Havoc physics engine, like a puzzle or something?
Well, the early on, we thought, wouldn't it be cool to be able to ragdoll creatures around, knock them over, knock them back, have them ragdoll, interact with all the objects within the world. And so it started out as kind of a novelty. Then we started realizing the capabilities that we could have by integrating it into things like the environment puzzles and things like that. So with combat, you're gonna, you'll knock creatures back. You can pick them up and throw them. You're also capable of interacting with most of the objects in the environment. Since this is still an early level, we don't have a lot of those objects in here yet. But in the E3 demo, we had a lot of examples of that. There were, boulders that you could pick up and throw at creatures. There were big crates that you could destroy and pick up and throw as well. But the exciting part, at least for me, is being able to integrate it into the environment puzzles. Environment puzzles, there's a wide array of them in the game. There's simple things like needing how to, pushing a crate to depress a switch that opens up a gate. That's a simple example of one. Then we have more complex puzzles where we're using the physics system that requires you to pick up a barrel, throw it across a ravine, and we have these what kind of looks like a giant pachinko board on the other side. The barrel bounces down between the pegs, hits the correct switch, and that opens up the gate that you need to make your way through. And the goal with the environment puzzles is to, obviously there's lots of hack and slash in this game, is to break up the combat about once every 20 minutes with a puzzle that really makes you think, and not to the point where it's frustrating, but allows you to stop fighting and use your brain.
Okay. And then just to start wrapping this up, what you going to tell us about when the game's coming out, what you have left to do in it, and so forth.
Well, between now and when we plan on releasing the game in November of this year, we still have a bit to do. We have 48 people working on the project, so we have an immense amount of assets and effects and code and design content going in. Between now and then, there's going to be a number of levels that you're going to see start coming online. You're going to see a lot more creatures. We're going to start showing bosses in the near future as well. The bosses are going to be pretty awesome. What we had shown at E3 was an example of kind of a mini boss, which is similar to one of the regular creatures, but he has some unique AI behaviors. The boss levels are these heavily scripted events where it's the AI is specific just to that boss. The combat techniques are specific just for that boss, and it's going to be the thing that's really going to be exciting and for players.
All right, well, thanks, Andy. Thanks for showing us the game. Is there anything that you want to add before we wrap it up here?
Yeah, we've put a lot of work into this. There's still a lot to go that we're going to be offering, and we're excited to really show what the next generation of action RPGs has in store.
You're getting killed here.
Oh, yeah, that's me.